Hello, it's Miriam, and today I'm bringing you the next section in our series of thoughts thinking about what love is, using 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and thinking about if we want our lives to be more like that of Christ Jesus, then we need to become more loving. And so we're looking at what love really is. And today we come to the part that says love is not self-seeking. The NRSV translates it as it does not insist on its own way. And the Message translation says love isn't always me first. So love does not insist on its own way, but it puts others first. So I guess we're thinking about that idea of submission really, which is quite an alien word to us in a world that allows us to almost have this sense of entitlement. But this part of the Bible is telling us no. If we truly want to embody true biblical love, then we must not insist on our own way and our own rights. And Jesus completely points us to this and shows us this in the lifestyle that he lived whilst he was on earth and ultimately in his death on the cross. And when we put ourselves first, it can lead to us becoming offended by almost the most tiny of things. When a meeting doesn't go our own way, or when we don't get to eat what we want, it's as trivial things as that really. And it can end up with us feeling really grieved a lot of the time rather than joyful. And by letting go of that, we can find freedom, not only to be more loving to others, but I guess to be more loving to ourselves as well. So what it means is having preference for another person. So often we hear, no one has a right to tell you how to live your life. But as Christians, I guess we disagree with that because we submit to the way that God the Father wants us to live our lives. And this can be hard in itself, but we know that God has sacrificed everything for us. So often we feel like he deserves our submission. So it can be even harder when we think about submitting to the needs of others in our lives. And it doesn't mean that we do everything that we're told. We don't submit in areas that we know are areas of truth or where we know something to be wise. But it's about when it's an issue with what we would rather do personally or because we would rather do something in our way. And the world almost tries to take away those opportunities for us to compromise. I think about in our household, if Mitch and I disagree on what we want to watch on the television, then one of us watches something on the television and we've got a house full of devices, so one of us can watch it on a programme on a laptop or an iPad. So that idea of compromise can so often be taken away from us. And so I guess what does it look like? But I think it means not asking the question, what's in it for me? Or how does this benefit me? But instead being focused on others. So in our conversations, thinking about others, asking about them, how they are. At work, when we've got a to-do list with 100 things on it, but we see someone struggling with a task that we know we can really help with, actually putting aside what we've got to do and helping them and being sacrificial in that way. So love is not self-seeking. It's not always me first. Let's remember that this week. Take care.